up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms that sit above or directly at WiseTake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out at WiseTake.com. The pass is available if you want to try it out. That being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You come to the right place with some free fire DFS content. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Don't miss out on any of the free content we put out. Currently covering MLB slates Monday through Friday, meaning we stream Sunday night through Thursday night with our first look right here on the tube. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful 4th of July. Pat Bush, what's going on, bro? Hope you enjoyed your 4th. Jonathan Adams, what's going on? Hope you enjoyed your 4th. Appreciate you joining us live. I did, man. I mean, 4th of July has always been my favorite holiday as an Army brat. The fireworks, the fact that it's in the summer, so you get some nice weather, pools, like the whole thing, right? Barbecue. It's always been a favorite holiday of mine. However, fast forward to 2021, and I have a dog. He's a pretty big dog named Patches, who is terrified. He's about a year and a half. He's terrified of fireworks. Like literally, like will piss himself, shaken to death, just terrified of fireworks. And this was my daughter, who is almost 6 months old. This was my daughter's first 4th of July, and she is also not a fan of the fireworks. So working against me in terms of keeping July 4th as my favorite holiday. They may have to make a change. I'll bet you they really like Christmas and that holiday season and all that, right? What kid wouldn't like a holiday in which you get presents? But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed your 4th, and hopefully it'll just get a little bit better for this guy and my family. Anyway, we were gonna have Paulie D on the show tonight, but being that it is the 4th of July, Paulie just won a cool $35,000. Let him enjoy himself. Let him enjoy the holiday. Paulie works hard between us and his other job, and I want to make sure he got an opportunity to kind of cut loose and do that dirty, in a different way, in the real world. So instead, he'll be joining me on the next show. So the next show, when we stream Monday night for Tuesday's show, we'll bring Paulie D on and kind of ask him questions, see if he can give us some insight with his big win, what was going on in his head, maybe go over his lineup, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, we were going to have him on tonight, whatever. But because of 4th of July, I wanted to let him do his dirty. And we'll just have him on Monday night, so be ready for that one. That being said, we've got a 9-game slate I think we got to get to, right? Which is decent. We have some options all around. A lot of bat choices. Not a ton of pitching choices, a lot of bat choices. Brandon Woodruff is the best pitcher on the slate. You could argue for Joe Musgrove if that's what you want to go. The numbers are very, very similar. I just always have felt a little bit more comfortable with Woodruff. So, I'll call him the cash game SP1 as of now. The Mets could be pesky, man. They're nothing special offensively right now. They have a 24% K rate against righties, 137 ISO, 296 WOBA, and 91 WRC+. It's amazing that they are in first place in the NL East. But this game's in Citi Field, massive boost for Woodruff, big time pitching park. It's hard to argue against Woodruff, man. Unless you're we looked at the spin rates and everything like that. I didn't really see a huge dip since the enforcements went in. Say what you will. Joe Musgrove would be the other option, and on DraftKings you could probably try to play them together in cash games and make the rest work. Being as how we don't have Coors Field on the slate. Musgrove's number looked really good. Washington can also be very pesky. Not that much better than the Mets in terms of WRC plus. 313 WOBA, 154 ISO, 23% K rate, so a little more pesky. But if you think Musgrove is that dude, it shouldn't be an issue, right? So I think that Woodruff and Musgrove are the two best pitchers on the slate. I think Max Fried will get some attention against Pittsburgh, rightfully so. I do think that Fried's kind of not looked as crisp as he did last season, but he's looked good enough. And Pittsburgh is dead last in WRC plus against lefties. A 284 WOBA, a 79 WRC plus, a 124 ISO, only a 22% K rate. So they got that peskiness. But it's a good part in Pittsburgh. They expect Fried to get on, to get some attention. As far as cheaper options go, Kobe Allard. The numbers aren't bad. I mean, this is the guy I picked on a ton last year, but the numbers aren't bad. He's at home, and he's playing Texas. I'm sorry, he's playing the Tigers, who is second worst in WRC plus against lefties at 84 with a 295 WOBA, a 137 ISO, and a 28.5% K rate. That's pretty massive, right? 28.5% K rate is pretty good. So I think we add him to the list of potentials. I don't love the price. I wish it was cheaper, truth be told. Last guy I'll put here, and yeah, Pat, you're 100% right. There's just not a ton of pretty options, which lets you know, we should see very concentrated ownerships. Tyler McGill for the Mets. I don't really know. I think he's a little old. He's not like a super young kid, right? The Mets kind of picked him up. He was doing well in AAA Syracuse. He's had a couple of appearances. He's been able to strike guys out. He's at home, the same park as Woodruff. We talked about Citi Field. And he's playing a Milwaukee team that is similar to the Mets. They're good, like record-wise. They're winning games. But if you look at their offensive numbers, it just looks terrible. The Brewers have an 89 RC plus against righties with a 302 WOBA, a 156 ISO, and a 25.4% K rate. So again, it's early to really get too into thinking we know exactly what McGill is, right? But yeah, 30% K rate. And yes, Detroit did make Giolito look silly. To be honest with you, Detroit does appear to be on a little hot streak. So we're looking at larger samples, so we want to consider that. And over the larger sample, they've been terrible, right? But it is worth noting that they have been on a little bit of a little hot streak thing going. Now, at some point, you look at their roster, they just don't have a ton of talent. You expect them to progress towards what they've been all season. But it is worth noting that they have been a little bit on a little bit of a hot streak. All right. So yeah, Tyler McGill. Offenses. We got a ton of offenses, right? We don't have a lot of pitchers because we have so many good offenses because there's a lot of shitty pitchers. John Lester against the Padres, for instance. Padres not as good against lefties. I'll admit that. Numbers aren't as good. 94 WRC plus, 305 WOBA, 150 ISO, 23% K. But when you look at who's on their team, Tommy Pham, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, even Will Myers, there's no reason they shouldn't be better against lefties. And John Lester is just the drizzling shits. 15.3% K rate, 5.24 Sierra. I mean, it's bad. However, we also have the Phillies and the Cubs playing. As of right now, it's 11:40 p.m. Eastern, right the night before. But as of now, it does appear that there's 12 mile-an-hour winds blowing out at Wrigley, and it's supposed to be like kind of warm and humid. So it could be a really, really good hitting environment. So we're looking at the Cubs offense, and we're looking at the Phillies offense. Phillies will be playing Zach Davies, whose numbers are comparable to that of John Lester, right? Comparable to the Matt Moores, the Vladimir Gutierrez. I mean, look how bad these xFIP are at the bottom. So yeah, Philly's very interesting. Davies is a guy who's struggled a little bit more to righties over the season. Over his career, I should say, really. So yeah, the Phillies look outstanding. The Cubs will also be drawing a lot of attention going up against Matt Moore, who's been a career fly ball guy. Numbers are also pathetic and awful and horrible. If we look at the Phillies against righties, numbers aren't great. 85 WRC plus, 295 WOBA, 145 ISO, 24.9% K. But this is Zach Davies, right? So if you're ever going to regress and improve against righties, it's spots like these, you would think, right? Winds blowing out in Wrigley, great hitting environment, terrible pitcher. The Cubs against lefties, 26.8% K rate, 163 ISO, 313 WOBA, 97 WRC plus. That's where you're at. Now expect the ownership to be heavy on these two teams. Just to make that clear, right? Braves against Chase DeJong. This guy's also, his numbers just don't look good. Big time fly ball guy. Atlanta, obviously a very tough offense. Really good hitters on the team. I think they'll carry low ownership because people don't like to play offenses in Pittsburgh, and for good reason. It's a pitcher-friendly park, but we should acknowledge them. Tampa Bay Rays against Logan Allen. Allen's numbers are arguably, ERA-wise, it's clearly the worst, but xFIP, Sierra, and all that, it's close. Not quite the worst, but pretty bad. 42% hard contact rate. This game is in Tampa, another pitching park, but we know that Tampa has played well here historically. They've always kind of been a really good home team. Tampa Bay against lefties, though. 92 WRC plus, 300 WOBA, 148 ISO, 27.7% K rate. Not great, but it's Logan Allen, right? His numbers kind of speak for themselves. Last offense I'll discuss. I mean, there's a bunch. I think that this Reds-Kansas City game's got a massive total. I think there's a Vladimir Gutierrez dude is not very good. Cincinnati's bullpen's been one of the worst in the league. Kansas City's has also been bad. Speaking to Kansas City, I think Mike Minor's pitching for them. Cincinnati has not been as good against lefties. Not a great park for hitting. But I think we're going to have some heat, some humidity, which can help the ball carry. We have two bad pitchers, two bad bullpens, so things could happen there. But the last team I wanted to discuss is the Rangers. We talked about how teams get hot. The Rangers, I think, are one of those teams right now. Willie Peralta, 3.21 ERA. That ain't real. 4.94 Sierra. xFIP, 5.08 Sierra, 13.8% K rate. That shit's real. 190 batting average, balls in play. So I think Texas could be interesting. Texas is the team that won Paulie all the money, right? Just a couple days ago, and I think they could be one of the lower owned sneakier stacks with some upside. But there's a lot of offenses. We don't have a lot of pitching. A lot of offenses to pick from. That's the positive, and it's not a massive slate. Writing the article and kind of narrowing down the offense is going to be tough. Pitching should be pretty easy. There's just not a ton of guys I'm willing to use. But offenses is, you can get pretty creative. Things to watch. You could take a shot on Dylan Cease, or Cease, whatever. 29.3% K rate this year. It's respectable. xFIP and Sierra are still good. They're under 4, but they're up there. This game's in Minnesota, but it's going to be really hot in Minnesota. It's a big park, pitcher-friendly park, but it gets hot. On top of that, Minnesota has a 185 ISO, a 321 WOBA, a 102 WRC plus, and only a 22.7% K rate against righties. Now, we do want to see who's in the lineup. Donaldson's been hurt. Nelson Cruz was scratched earlier on the Sunday slate, so we want to keep that in mind. Jonathan Adams likes the Cleveland stack as his top. Appreciate the participation. Cleveland. I saw you guys talking about attacking Tampa Bay and Yankee pitchers because of the stuff, the sticky stuff and all that. Little tidbit. I like that. It's interesting. And I think Richell did get rocked in his last start. So he throws a curveball, man. He relies heavily on a curveball, so that could make a big difference. But Dylan Cease, something to keep an eye on. Could be a lower owned option, but he's got his hands full. And if not, maybe you can get a Twins who are a good offense at low ownership. Bailey Ober, so his numbers have kind of come up, right? This is a much better park for him. He played these guys in Chicago on his last start, and he got lit up. But that was a very small park, a little bit of a bigger park. It is going to be hot, so we could see the ball carry. But the only reason I bring him up is because he was chalked that day. He was very highly owned, And I think because of how things went down and he's playing the same exact team, I think his ownership is going to be really low this time. So there's something to keep an eye on. And then, to Jonathan Adams' point, the third thing to watch I have written down here in my notes is Rich Hill against Cleveland. And it was exactly that point, right? We've seen Tampa Bay pitchers, we've seen certain pitchers struggle since this whole sticky stuff enforcement. Rich Hill has not looked very good. Cleveland is not a super popular offense. I want to see what the lineup looks like. J-Ram's been out. If J-Ram is back and everything's rocking, I could roll with it. But if J-Ram's out, that's just too big of a loss for me. I need him. I'm trying to find 5 players on DraftKings of a certain team that I'm willing to stack. I got to have J-Ram available if it's the Indians. But those are all things to keep an eye on. Dong watch, and we're out of here. First up, Randy Arozarena for Tampa. Randy Arozarena for Tampa against Logan Allen. Chris Bryant for the Chicago Cubs, who's been hot. He's been hot. Andrew McCutchen has got the BVIP on Zach Davies. We like to take righties against Davies. We talked about that. I'm going Andrew McCutchen as my third pick for the Dong Watch. That's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Wise Stream. Make sure you subscribe to notifications, but don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Comment as much as you can. Let me hear your thoughts on the show. Tell me who you like. Tell me who you're pitching. Tell me what offenses you like. I want to hear from you. Share the show as much as you can. I appreciate you. Those of you taking the time to catch us live. Those of you taking the time to listen or watch after the fact. Shout out to you all, man. Y'all make the nation what it is. Y'all make the nation strong. Let's keep doing dirties. Let's keep dropping sevens. I want to know who is taking down the donkey next. That's right. Who is next? Is it you? Let me know. All right. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yes.